Hi, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll give you a basic introduction regarding Amazon Web Services or AWS. So Amazon Web Services provides cloud-based solutions for a wide range of features like computing, storage, networking, etc. Amazon Web Services, which is developed by Amazon, is doing pretty good as compared to its competitors like Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud. One of the reason it being geographically diverse. So these are the four service models for a IT industry. A company can be a non-cloud company wherein it will have its own building, its own networking, its own hardware, and the application OS will also be its own. So all this cost is borne by the company itself. Another type of company is an infrastructure as a service company, wherein the company would be providing building, network, and hardware to other companies as a service, and the other companies which hire these building, network, and hardware can just concentrate on developing the application and having an OS of its own. Platform as a service is another type of service industry where all these parameters, that is, building, network, hardware, OS, and runtime, is provided as a service, and the other companies can hire them and just place their application in it and don't have to bother about all these amenities. Software as a service is the fourth type, wherein even the application is provided as a service and the companies can hire all these entities just by spending the money on it and not thinking about the management of each of these entities. So where AWS stands in this setup is it can act as an infrastructure as a service or a platform as a service, and even in some cases software as a service. Even the subsets like database as a service, functionality as a service are also used from the AWS set of components as per the requirement of the industry using it. So here, if you consider Gmail for an example, it is a complete example of software as a service where the Gmail server, the hardware, the OS, even the Gmail application is owned by Google, and we as a user are just using the application. So the question arises, why would a company need a cloud-based solution other than having its own infrastructure? Let's take an example from daily life. To travel from your home to office, if you need a vehicle, there are two ways to do it. Either you would buy your own car or you would hire a taxi. So when you buy your own car, there are costs involved in it. Starting from the cost of the car, you have to additionally buy yearly insurances for the car. You have to have regular fueling up of the car. To drive the car, you would have to have a driving license for yourself. And additionally, if there is any damage to the car, you have to bear the cost for it. On the other hand, if you go for a taxi, all these costs are incurred by the taxi owners. You just need to pay for the service you take. Even the route which you take during this travel is decided by the taxi company to take the shortest path to make you reach your destination as quickly as possible. So if you compare it at the industry standard level, wherein a company wants to develop its own software, if it goes to buying a building for it, then setting up the hardware for it, then the OS, and then going for the application development, the cost involved is numerous. The yearly maintenance on the hardware can be compared to the car insurance. The fueling up can be compared with adding up of extra storage or memory as per the requirement of the application. You would need expertise for all this, so you need to hire experts. Similar to as you need to be a licensed driver when you drive your own car. And also, if there is any failure, you have to bear the cost. So when you go for a cloud solution like AWS, all these costs are handled by AWS. All the complexities are also handled by the AWS. You just need to worry about reaching your office. That is, you just need to worry your deliverables. Now let us have a look at AWS architecture. So this screen has a lot of information. These all are actually the components of which AWS comprises. So let us begin from the bottom. The regions are actually the data centers where all these components resides. So When you buy any of these components from AWS, you can simply access it through your browser. But actually in the backend, location where the component which you're accessing resides are known as region. So around the globe, AWS has many regions which host these data centers. Besides having a region, there are availability zones which are actually independent data centers in a particular region to maintain fault tolerance and scalability. For networking, AWS provides its own DNS known as Route 53. It provides a virtual private connection, private gateway, etc. Now for computing, AWS has EC2 or Elastic Cloud Compute, which is actually the term used in AWS for virtual machines, which has some extra features like having an elastic IP, an auto scaling feature, that is, whenever extra memory or storage is required for your virtual machine, it auto scales. Lambda acts as function as a service. It can be used for small scale batch operations or for serverless architecture, etc. On the storage front, AWS provides elastic block storage, simple storage, glaciers, CloudFront, etc. For security, it has CloudTrail, directory services, encrypt key management, etc. Similarly, for monitoring and deployment activities, it has CloudFormation templates, it has its own AWS console, CloudWatch monitoring, config manager, OpsWorks, etc. At the database end, it uses Elasticache, RDS, that is similar to a relational database like Oracle or MySQL, Redshift, which is actually a data warehouse, DynamoDB, which is a NoSQL database. For software as a service, AWS has Elastic Transcoder for media transcoding. It has its own SMTP mailing server. It has simple workflow for workflow management, etc. Analytic front, AWS provides Hadoop support, data pipeline, Kinesis, etc. It also has platform and library of various programming languages like Java, Python, PHP, etc. So each of this component can be studied in deep and would require separate lessons for each. I'll be discussing more of AWS in later chapters. If you want to know how to create an account on AWS, please check out my previous video. I have provided the link in the description. Thank you for watching my video.